And thank you for joining us for the second half hour of The Factor Uncensored, keeping it professional or keeping it real or being a damn sellout. The topic of code switching has been a long-time debate within communities of color. Actor and TV host Mario Lopez recently went viral for it. Fans noticed he sounded a lot different on a TikTok he filmed with friends versus how he does on TV.
There were mariscos, el bigotón. Got my friend Funes right here. Got some classics. Ceviche de camarón con mayonesa. I like it with mayonnaise. This is basically a shrimp tostada. I like the salty, kind of sweet combo right there. Then we've got a cold.
We'll get our discussion about code switching, which is now how some people adjust their tone and language between work, friends, and family. But first, here's Mario Lopez's response to all the attention.
I can't be like that on Access Hollywood or my radio show. I'm trying to cash these checks. I can't be sounding all hood like that. I gotta keep it a little more polished and buttoned up. But my
when he said cash these checks, he went black on that. Mario's all over the damn map. All right, let's talk about it. Joining us now, publicist Bridget Holden, influencer Houston's Lala, and Darian Lewis from the Monica Lewis School of Etiquette. So, Darian, yes, for those who are not aware, because we had a staff member in our meeting, he didn't know what code switching was.
Wow.
What? White guy. But, but tell the viewers what code switching.
So it's when you change your tone or when you change your vernacular, your syntax based on the audience. So we can adjust it up, down. We may speak a little bit more formal or a little bit more relaxed, depending on the audience that we're talking to.
So it's me in that bug video, right?
Yes.
Going from Isaiah to Isaiah from Baton Rouge.
Exactly. All of those things, right? So it's when you're speaking with your guard down, essentially. So, you know, we're all susceptible to doing it. We talk differently to our coworkers versus our children versus maybe our friends from high school. So, you know, it depends on the audience. And everybody has to label something, so we call it code switching. But really and truthfully, it's just basically adjusting how you speak to the audience that you're speaking to.
And Bridget, do you see it as a form of survival, say, if you're in the professional work environment, at work?
Absolutely, because every work environment has its own culture.
That's right.
And so you can't go in there saying, yo, what's up, dog? You know, if that's not what they're saying. So, yes, I do. I see it as that.
All right.
To fit in.
And Lala, looking at Mario, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm Mexican, and being in the public eye, I mean, there's a time and a place to how you speak proper English.
Right.
So, you know, with my work, you know, I got to do all the commercials that I do, but when I start speaking Spanish, a lot of people don't even know I speak Spanish. They're like, "Dang, you speak Spanish?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Mexican." So even when we did this, I was like, I didn't even know what code switching was. I'm not gonna lie, I Googled it. I was like, I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't even know, so I Googled it. I was okay, but it makes sense because I saw the video of him the other day,
Do you see it as being okay and a mechanism of survival, dealing with these people, making everyone feel comfortable, but also you being accepted?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be, you know, in certain business, you have to be proper. You have to speak the right way in a certain way. And then when you're with your friends, you're a different way. So I think when he was with his friends, he's in a more chill environment. So that'd be kind of like what I would do, probably speak how he did. But when you're doing, you know, like his Access show, you have to be like, hey guys, how are you? And be proper. And that's what sells, those checks, okay? That's how I get my checks too, baby. So.
And is anything wrong with that, Darian?
No, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think sometimes we have to dispel the myth of what is proper and what is not. You know, his syntax was still correct. I still saw Mario Lopez. He did not sound differently than what I see. I think that sometimes people expect one thing from individuals that is not necessarily fair. When we're speaking to our friends, we speak based on our familiarity. When we speak to our coworkers, we're speaking from our experience and our expertise. When we're talking to family, we're talking to them, you know, we're giving them instructions and directions. So you're always switching who you're talking to and adjusting based on that level. It's not wrong. It is just a matter of life and the communication and the way our language is set up. So I think everyone who has a comment about it really needs to really reevaluate the way they speak and can maybe film themselves and play it back. Listen how you talk.
It's because he spoke Spanish, and we're so used to hearing him speak that English.
Yeah. Right, but he spoke Spanish correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't he? I mean, you know, so the syntax is there.
Yeah.
He still was very articulate, even while he was speaking Spanish. So why are we debating about whether or not it's right or wrong to do something that is so common in our language today and in the way in which we communicate today?
And Bridget, let's look at the psyche of critics. Why are people criticizing this if it's a form of survival?
Because people want to, you make people feel uncomfortable if you speak differently. So for example, I was raised in Kaiserslautern, Germany. So when I came back to the States, I had an accent. And people told me that I sounded white. And I was like, what does that mean? Because I spoke correct English, if you will, and so it makes people uncomfortable, because especially in the black community, if you come across very proper or you sound educated, then you're bougie, you're trying to be better than me, and that's not the case. So then you get criticized because you're trying to be better than someone else, and that's not the case. So that's why people are intimidated, if you will, by that, I think.
And Lala, should people shy away from doing what they need to do to survive?
No, absolutely not. And it's kind of like me, a lot of my stuff is in English, but you know, the fact that a lot of it is in English, it's like Spanish people might be like, "Dang, you're not speaking Spanish, you're not trying to stand up for our race," or whatever.
Really? Do you get that?
Yeah, they're like, you need to speak Spanish more, you're Mexican, you know, like, I'm not, it's not that I'm
like
not trying to speak Spanish, but I mean, you know, it's English is what's paying the checks too, so I mean, shit, I'll speak both though.
And Darian, for those who, you get the same thing in the black community.
Correct.
How do you even deal with these people or those individuals who may criticize you to your face, or do you just move on because it's not worth it?
They're watching me on TV right now. So I don't have to deal with them. What I can do is educate them by being who I am every day.
There you go.
And that's the thing. You know, we're all subjected to this kind of hypersensitive kind of culturalization of things. You know, as a black man, I'm always black. And sometimes you find yourself having to speak in a higher register in your voice because you sound less intimidating.
And you're tall.
And you're tall.
Yeah.
So you're always accommodating and you're always doing those things. But the best thing to do is be authentically you and help them understand that just because I am different than you are, it doesn't make me an oddity, it makes me unique. And so are you, and we can embrace that and we can move on and live our life.
That's it.
You know?
That's why you need to do what I do, Black on Weekends. Still to come on the Factor Uncensored.